How's it hanging, YouTube? This is King of Feral Imps, and I have an update of Heraldic Beasts. I haven't updated this since May, I believe, but for some reason November feels like a Heraldic Beast sort of time. I think I profiled it once in November, and just every year I feel like that's a Heraldic Beast time, although I didn't do it last year, I think. But anyway, here's the updated version for November 2015. I haven't updated it since Exiton was banned, and since Lavalval Chain was banned, and of course we're playing the obvious brand new rank 4 support. So I'm just going to go ahead and profile this. Of course, one of my favorite decks, and it is just freaking cool. So let's start. First off, for monsters is 3 of Heraldic Beast Leo. If you know anything about this deck, you'll know that this is the main monster. It is a level 4 2000 beater beast monster. Has the effect that when you normal summon it, it dies during the end phase, but the best effect is that when it's sent to the graveyard, you search for any one Heraldic Beast from your deck except for another copy of Leo. It's worded exactly, the exact way it's worded is that anytime it's sent to the graveyard, regardless, the effect is not optional, so you get it when discarding him for cost, when he gets destroyed by battle, destroyed by card effect on the field, sent from the hand to the graveyard, or even detached as Xyz materials. No matter what, as long as it hits the grave and you haven't already used one of the effects, or you haven't already used an effect, then you get to search. Like I said, you can only use one per turn, so not that it's nerfed, but it's balanced, but it still is very, very good in that if you detach it as an Xyz material, you get the Xyz monster's effect as well as a search. So of course this is the best card in the deck. Then I'm playing 3 of the Aberconway. He's a level 4 Dragon Wind. Mostly you play him because he's a name, and 3 copies because he's a decent beater. And of course you can get the effect. His effect is that while it's in the graveyard, if you have another copy, then you can banish that one and then target one other Heraldic Beast in your graveyard, add it back to your hand. So mostly you're going to add back Leo to normal summon and then get more effects off. And that's what you could do. You could also add other cards, but mostly, like I said, we play him because he's a level 4, he's a name, and he's a win, because you need a lot of Heraldic Beasts. And then is 3 copies of Heraldic Beast AmphisBAEna. This card is Bae. I already made that joke last profile. But this is the brand new one. Well, not brand new. It came out months ago. But of course, you discard 1 card, other than himself, of course, while he's in the hand, and you special summon him from the hand. So he helps with making big plays. Of course, you can go ahead and discard Leo to special summon him. Leo will search. Then you normal summon your other one, and then you can make a nice rank 4 play. Like I said, you can do it with, well, not like I said, but like I showed, you can do it with these 2, and then you can make a wind monster, a monster that requires winds. I bet you know what it is. I don't know why I'm not saying it. But anyway, this one needed good cards. It also has the great effect that while it's face on the field, you can discard a Heraldic Beast from your hand, and he gains 800 attack, putting him at 2,500, which can be a bit of a beater. I've used the effect a few times, and it comes in handy, because if you ever get into the where you're under like vanities, before it was mildly decent if you're under Jinlock, but he does get up to 2,500, and it's really good there. Those are all the 3 ofs. The rest are these 2 copies of Best Pony, because it has, before you didn't play it, but now that the Psychic Xyz monsters for the deck are better, you play it because while it's in the grave, you can banish it to reborn one Psychic type Light Xyz monster from your graveyard, which are the boss monsters made for the deck, but its effect is negated. It's still good because the one you're going to be reborning does get a great effect while it's in the grave. And then last 2 of, or 1 ofs, 1 Basilisk, 1 Eagle. Eagle is great because while it's in the grave, banish it, target 2 other Heraldic Beasts in your graveyard, attach them to 1 Xyz monster with no Xyz materials, so it basically refills them. I was playing 3, and then it's down to 2. Now it's at 1 because mostly you can pretty easily get it to the grave once stuff gets rolling. And then Basilisk is a good one of because at the end of the battle step, or basically anything at battles gets destroyed. And this effect does not target. I did look it up. I have looked it up. And I love it because it doesn't target. It's just very solid removal. And because worst comes to worst, you set it, your opponent attacks, it dies. Oftentimes, what's funny is when my opponent's trying to go on the defensive, summon something big in defense mode, just crash this into it. And I'll take some life point damage, but it'll die with Basilisk. Oh, Basilisk is just so good. I absolutely love this card. So that's all for the Heraldics. Less than I've been playing before, but this build kind of works out better because we do have just some more monsters to help build rank 4s. This works as a great core and as a great backbone to the deck. So for additional level 4 monsters, we have 3 Kage Tokages, because of course we play the engine that searches it out, and it's just decent. It's a good acceleration for rank 4s. Very solid. And then 3 Assault Halberds, because he's even more very good. Summons. He is a good beater, and of course he does search himself out, so he does replace. It's just really good. I'm not playing a Summoner Monk because I don't like discarding my spells, and I just feel like it's sort of weak as compared to just these, which are very solid, which your opponent really can't negate. Well, I mean, of course they could, but for the most part, they can't exactly negate. Like Goblinberg and Summoner Monk are susceptible to things like Valor, Fiendish Chain, Breakthrough Skill, but these guys aren't. So that's all for the monsters. Now for the spells, which I've cut down considerably. 1 Foolish Burial, because it's basically just a Rhoda. You go ahead and Foolish Burial Leo. Leo will search, and then you're 2 cards deeper into your deck, and plus you have a Leo in the grave to use, so it's just great. 2 copies of Instant Fusion to special summon our Air Jordan from the extra deck and make other rank 4 monsters. Funny thing, when this deck first came out, I was playing Instant Fusions for level 4 monsters because I knew, this deck needs some good extra level 4 monsters, so might as well spare some extra deck space. But I was playing stuff like, Darkfire Dragon and Carbonala Knight or whatever, Warrior. Those horrible level 4 fusion monsters, but now that Air Norden is out in the TCG, it's just so much better. And I was ahead in the game playing these in Heraldic Beasts, I guess. That's all for generic stuff, I guess. Now for Heraldic Beast specific, 2 copies of Heraldic Reborn. Basically just Monster Reborn for one of your Heraldics, but only from your grave. Not much to say about that. I mean, you could play 3, but 2 is fine because you draw into it enough. The one you really want is Advanced Heraldry Art. People know what this card does. They call it Miracle Fusion, but really it's not. You activate it and you target 2 Heraldic Beasts in your graveyard, special summon them, and then immediately after this card resolves, Xyz Summon. Now, some people have wondered if you can Xyz Summon stuff that requires 3 Xyz materials. No, it has to be something that requires only 2, so most of your basic generic rank 4 stuff. That's all for spells. It's pretty slim, and I guess you can see why I'm not using Summoner Monk, because I don't have that big a focus on spells. Every single spell in this deck is going to be usable once you draw it, for the most part, barring some graveyard setup in these cards. But for the most part, every spell in this deck is great, and it is going to help you in some way. So that's all for spells. Now for traps, which are much larger than before. All of the 1-ofs, and I fit them this time. Solemn Warning, Bottomless, and Compulse, and Ring of Destruction for the monster removal, plus Vanities for the prevention. I kind of wondered if I should keep playing Vanities, because I play it like it's a staple. I definitely feel like it is, so I really like it, so I'm going to keep playing it. Aside from these are all just your basic 1-of traps. Those are all very self-explanatory. Old man. For additional traps, just 2 copies of Mirror Force now. This should be the other card, Air Force or Storming Mirror Force, whatever it's called. Basically the one that is like Mirror Force but returns stuff to the hand. That card is great for dealing with stuff like Magispectors or Cosmo. But it's, $40 maybe? 8 at the moment, but Mirror Force works just fine, because even if you can't get Air Force or Storming Mirror Force, Mirror Force still helps for widespread removal, and it doesn't target also, so it helps with the big Cosmo monsters, and then you can get ways around them from when they get in the grave. But yeah, just 2 Force cards. If you can get the Air Force or Storming Mirror Force, play them. I plan on getting them sometime soon. Then 2 Call of the Haunteds for even more reborn power. Now, interestingly enough, you may be wondering why I'm only using 2 copies of Heraldry Reborn, but I'm using Call of the Haunted. Well, Call of the Haunted also helps bring out Xyz monsters, which we know we can also refill with Eagle. And there's a certain Xyz monster that can continue to get pluses So even without Xyz materials, so we use this. And like I said, there's one more also that works without Xyz materials, so this helps. Also, if they blind MST for whatever reason, you can go ahead and chain this and target Leo. It will resolve, Leo will special summon, this gets destroyed, Leo will get a search. Just great shenanigans that way. 2 copies of Breakthrough Skill, this is just solid effect negation. And of course it works from the grave. Now, these spots for this in some builds, not in some builds, but I'd say you can use these for Veilers if you want to. I'm just not super keen on Veiler. Mostly Breakthrough Skill, I like it because you can get 2 uses out of it, and it's pretty good. And then lastly, 2 Divine Wraths, which is, again, sort of an odd choice to play like only 2 of each of these, but I feel like it works out. So Divine Wrath, of course, you discard a card and negate 1 monster effect. But you can pretty much negate effects anywhere with this, so that's what makes it just so good. And of course, you don't mind discarding cards because most of the times if you get the chance, discard a Leo, negate your effect, and with this effect, it's not optional, so it even works with counter traps like this. It creates a separate chain after everything resolves, so you're still going to get Leo's effect and to go ahead and search. But of course, you can't discard any of your other Heraldic beasts because they're fine and dandy in the graveyard. But again, it works out because if by chance you don't have the Storming Mirror Force, just regular Mirror Force and Divine Wrath, these in tandem with each other help you take care of Forerunner when you destroy it. And then of course this helps for other effects. Divine Wrath is just great. That's it for traps and the main deck. Now for the extra deck, 2 copies of the Air Jordan, just like I mentioned. He's just good, special summon him. And then special summon from the grave. It's just great for just your big monsters. And of course he's a water, so that helps with something great there. Very basic, not much else I can say about it. Rhapsody and Berserk, you can spit out Xyz monsters very easily and quickly, so he helps to bring out Gaga Cowboy. Go ahead and summon something for game, because Cowboy for game is great. At certain points I do play double Cowboy, but not currently. And of course you can go ahead and just summon Cowboy to discard or detach Leo and get Leo search while burning for 800, which is pretty nice. 1 Abyss Dweller to stop your opponent's graveyard effects. And of course, since we're playing Aaron Norden, it actually works out because he gets the attack boost with it. But of course, it's something else great that can just sort of auto-detach or detach right away. Go ahead and detach your Leo, get your search, and your opponent's blocked from the graveyard for this turn. 1 Lightning Chidori because we do play a lot of winds, and it's really good, and a Castel. It doesn't matter what you play, as long as you have 2 of either of these. They basically do the same thing. I mean, not technically, but for the most part. Basically just play 2 bouncers at least. Bouncers. And then 101, yay, spot the proxy, you win. Still need to get 1. This is great because it can't be destroyed. It prevents destruction. And even after detaching, taking 1 of your opponent's monsters and attaching, and if you detach that to prevent being destroyed, you can still go ahead and refill it with Eagle, so that's even better. So it pretty much gets 2 effects. Basically with Eagle, any of these, you get to use them twice, but only 1 of them, unless you want to play more Eagles. That's it for this portion. Let's skip on to this spot, because this might take a bit longer. These are your Psychic type Xyz monsters, 2 Patriarch, and then 1 Genome Heritage. Now, Patriarch's the great one. It is a generic rank 4 Xyz monster, so you can go ahead and summon it with your Kage Tokage or your Assault Halberd, but that's why they're there, because you normally want to bring this out first turn. It has an effect, or a really weird effect, that if there are 2 monsters on the field at the same time, you can destroy 1 of them, and then as long as he's face up on the field, your opponent can't summon any other monsters with that name. But aside from that, it has the better effect that when it hits the graveyard, you get to Foolish Burial 2 Heraldic Beast monsters from your deck to the graveyard. So you're basically just going to leave Patriarch on the field and then, get attacks in where you can. But when he's destroyed, you get to ditch a Leo and a Unicorn. So Leo is going to go ahead and get his search off, and then you have Unicorn for on your turn, or even that turn if he gets destroyed this turn. Banish the Unicorn and special summon him back. His effect will be negated, but he'll still have the 22,000 floater, which will then Foolish 2 more, and you just keep on going, and it's just amazing from there. And then Genome Heritage, he has the great effect that you can target one Xyz monster your opponent controls, its effect is negated, its attack goes to 0, and then his attack becomes that monster's attack, and he gains the effect. And that's all without even detaching Xyz material. They're very great. This is what makes the deck, essentially. Patriarch especially. I almost want to play triple Patriarch just because it is amazing, and then you can keep floating, but two's fine, just as long as you can bring it out. And then, for the last bit of the Xyz monsters, one copy of myself to search the Kage Tokages, Ragna Zero for basic destruction, Karen Gorgon for basic defense, and he's a good little beater. And then just one number 104 Masquerade. You can play anything else that requires 4 Xyz materials, but right now he's alright because he does help against Cosmos. You can play Ouroboros or Disigma if you want, or whatever else there is that requires 4. Yeah, this is what I'm playing. I'm not using a Ptolemaeus engine or anything just because this deck just spits out so many rank 4s already that you can basically... Sorry, I dropped a bunch of my rank 4s. You can basically bring out whatever you want, and there are just so many toolbox effects that you can use in this deck. And then with Ptolemaeus, you have to use the other rank 5s to combo with them, and then of course extra deck space is sort of already tight using the Nordens, but whatever you want to do. If you like Ptolemaeus and end up finding some way to work, then congratulations. But for the most part, just all you need is Patriarch and then some other solid rank 4s. That's all for extra deck. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this updated deck profile for Heraldic Beasts for the, November 2015 format. It was pretty fun. I really do enjoy this deck, and it is one of my favorites. I've been playing it ever since Cosmo Blazer came out. And actually, big shout out to my friends for helping me first build this deck when it first came out. And then, and for helping me just try it out and have some great fun with it. The deck is alright now. It's pretty much a rogue deck, but you do get just a bunch of the cards are very, very solid and have great effects. Leo is a great searcher. Both of your spells are amazing, and your Xyz monster is just works very well for what you're trying to do in this deck. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the comment section below. I believe I already addressed the Ptolemaeus, and there are different things you can do. You can play the rank up version, and then you can play number 69, insert Lenny face, or the Chaos version of number 69, because that's just a great, amazing card. There are other things you can do with the extra deck again, but of course the extra, like I said, extra deck's all up to you as long as you play a Patriarch. Anyway, if you enjoyed the content, remember to subscribe. Also leave a like and a comment to show your support. This has been King of Pharaoh Imps. Have a nice day.